Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another edition of the Lambom Show. Today is Sunday, 2020. My name is Lambert Mbom. I am a freelance journalist based in the Washington, D.C. metro area. Today is the day the Lord has made. We rejoice and are glad. The Lord invites us to worship Him, to praise Him, to reserve Sunday and keep it holy. Strangely, on this Sunday, we are going to be talking about money. We are going to be talking about finance. We are going to be talking about something that we seemingly should not be talking about on a Sunday. So it seems odd that on this holy day, we'll be talking about money. But I think it is fitting when you get to meet the person who is going to be our guest today, this evening, you would understand why you'll be blessed. You understand why it is just appropriate to be talking about money on this Sunday. We are very privileged and honored to have with us this evening Ms. Lilly Mbinglo, and she has behind her name two titles. One, a CPA, another, an MBA. I don't want you to focus on those two. What I'd like you to focus on is CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ark NPS. Whatever those words mean, Lily is here to explain them to us. And this is going to be a conversation, a pre-launch conversation, because she's about to open up a second office in Houston. Lily is based in Virginia Beach, out of Virginia, where she has an office. That's where she has the head office, but she's opening up a second office in Houston. And because the second office is going to be opened on a Wednesday, the 9th of September 2020 in Houston, and I could not be there, I decided to say, Lily, let's have a conversation today so that we can invite many more people to join in this God-ordained venture of the Ark NPS. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ms. Lilly Mbinglo, CEO. Lily, welcome.
Thank you so much, Lambert. For a split second, I was like, who is he talking about? But it's such an honor to be here. Thank you for having me. Super excited to have a little bit of a conversation with you and hopefully get to answer some questions that you have for me.
And as you can imagine, there are many questions, and you have some link to share out for. I mean, let's hear what you have. Let me play that out.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. My name is Lilly Mbinglo, and I am the founder and the CEO of the Ark NPS. I'm glad you mentioned what the NPS stands for, and it's the Ark Nonprofit Solutions, and I will explain why we decided to call it the Ark NPS and reduce all of that. But my heart has always been to help nonprofits and businesses to not only get the structure that they need, but to be able to sustain their operations and grow with knowledge that would help them make informed decisions. So I also work with individuals, helping them in taxes, giving them financial counsel. It's a lot of different things that I do, but my heart is always to make sure that people are able to live a life of purpose by having control over their finances, be it in their business, in their nonprofit, or in their individual lives. And I'm pleased and super excited to let you all know that we're opening our second office in Houston, Texas. Houston is so dear to my heart. I was in Houston before I moved to Virginia Beach. My move to Virginia Beach was because I started my doctoral program at Regent University, and I fell in love with Virginia Beach. I'm a water girl. I be a Bacapikino, but I'm a water girl, and I love Virginia Beach. I'm not planning to leave. But I figured Houston was always dear to my heart. I was in Houston for 7 years prior to moving. Why not go back, to a place that dear to my heart and also help, the businesses in that environment, the nonprofits and the individuals in that Houston market, while we're also expanding to multiple markets. So yes, we're super excited about that. If you're just getting to know us, we're a CPA firm. And we provide accounting, payroll, bookkeeping, tax, consulting services to individuals, nonprofits, and businesses. And for our launch, we have a special offer. For the first 10 clients that sign up for bookkeeping, they get 2 months for free. And then we also offer 10 to 15% discount for people who have not yet filed their 2019 taxes. So there's a lot to come for that. We have some other special deals, but I don't want to take too much time on that. But get on our page, the Ark NPS, like us, and stay tuned so you can learn more what we're offering for our launch. Yes.
So
That's
Lily,
launch is Wednesday, the 9th of September, 2020. 9/9/2020.
yeah, so you already kicked off the show and you're already on the third reel, and I want to bring you right back to the beginning, okay?
Please do, because I can go out of control if you do not put
No,
things
but
in
that's
order.
that's good because this is all for you, isn't it? This is all about what you're doing.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
yeah, I really want to because I think it's very rare in our community. Let me put it this way: that finance or what you are doing is not one of those popular professions, call it. People are looking for some other thing, which something that is more appealing. Let me put it that way. I
Yeah.
don't know, how did you get into this line of business to become a CPA? By the way, what does explain for the sake of the audience
Yeah.
what does CPA mean?
Okay, so a CPA is a certified public accountant. And once you study accounting and you qualify for that certification, you sit for it, and there are 4 sections that you take. You have 18 months to pass all 4. Once you become certified in the US, there are certain accounting tasks or services that you can provide that other accountants may not be able to provide. And your signature becomes a mighty signature when it lands on things. And so you get held to a very high standard as well. But it's a great certification to have if you're an accountant. Now, I want to talk about how I got here, because I meet a lot of people. They're like, well, why didn't you go into nursing or any other field? It didn't start when I got to the US. It started when I was still back home. I'm from A Lady of Lourdes. I'm Melesson. And so we had an accounting teacher called DK. DK, I would say, is the reason why I'm a CPA today. It started with him. Well, not just him. There have been other people in that journey. But he made us fall in love with accounting. We did accounting from 1, from 2, from 3, and I stayed with it till the end. But he made us fall in love with accounting, and I think what made DK so special was DK didn't just teach. He always had life lessons. He would drop things in class like, you cannot die before your parents, because of recklessness. Your parents should not bury you. But there were all these things that not only made me fall in love with accounting, but the teacher was amazing. When I got to the US, my dad was very encouraging. My dad always called me his little accountant. I also came across one of my classmates from Baele, and he told me that when we were younger, our teacher in class 6 already called me his bookkeeper. So it looks like a lot of people already saw that thing in me. So when I got to the US, I was very conflicted on what to do, because everyone was saying nursing is the quick way to go, but I always loved accounting. My family is so blessed, man. I have the best siblings. My brothers, Peter, Paul, Vera, they said one thing to me. They said, you know what, we're not accountants. We're not even in that field, so we don't know what happens. But they said, if you are in the US, anything you choose to do and you put your heart to it, you're going to succeed. That was enough for me. And then my classmate, Alice Tomjo, who had been a CPA already, I talked with her and she's like, Lily, make up your mind. Do you want to work 60 hours for the rest of your life? Or, do you want to pursue what we've always had a passion for and make a difference in people's lives? So that was how the journey started. And we're here. I've been a CPA for over 8 years now and counting.
That's quite interesting. And again, I like to apologize to the audience because seemingly for the last 6 weeks, the only people I've brought to my show as guests are lessons. It's not on purpose, okay? I just happen to have some great friends. But again, the sustained theme has been the influence of the school on the people. And I'm glad you were able to say that. Yesterday, I had 3 guests on my show. We're talking about STEM.
Yeah.
science, technology, engineering, and math. And one of them was a lesson, the other one was a secret. But they brought up another aspect of it, which was the family. And I'm glad you also mentioned that, isn't it?
Yes,
So
yes,
school had that influence, then your family also had
yes,
that influence in you,
yes.
and
It did.
combined, you are what you are today thanks to them. But
Yes.
again, for somebody listening to just what was the journey like becoming a CPA?
Nah. I would tell you, for me, first, it wasn't as hard because I liked accounting. I loved accounting. I loved it. But there were classes that were pretty challenging. When I was done, from my bachelor's, what helped me in this journey too is that I had some teachers that started challenging me early enough. They were like, do not wait to sit for your CPA. It gets harder because your life, you're going to get, busier. You're going to have kids, you get married, you have responsibilities, you pick up jobs here and there. So I think having some of those teachers that, kept on insisting on us taking the exam. A lot of my classmates didn't do it, of course, but for those of us that had the courage to do it, I had teachers that just dared us to do it and say, go for it, just give it your best shot. And I started. It requires a lot of studying, that's true. But like with everything, if you really want it and you want it bad, you would do what it takes. I don't want to make someone feel like this journey was one of those that, I had to almost kill myself for. Far from it at all. I mean, I did the work. I studied hard. I failed some sections. FYI, I failed some sections too, So, which is usually a very common theme in the CPA world. Sometimes you would fail some. And so long as you keep the course, you stay on it and don't give up, eventually you pass. You hardly, there are not too many CPAs that I've met that pass all four in one instance, all four sections. But so long as you stick with it and you keep going, it will test you for sure. It will challenge you. If you thought you were smart, you'll be shocked to learn that you were far from it.
So for somebody who is considering, let me say, who is in high school in the United States or maybe high school in Cameroon or somewhere in Africa, and they're looking at you and they say, "Gee, I really want to be like Lily." What should they be looking at, and what should they prepare, and how should they go about that journey to become a CPA?
Start by enrolling in accounting classes, right? You want to get a bachelor's in accounting, then of course, every state has different requirements. When I was sitting for the CPA, I was in Illinois, and Illinois required you to have 150 credit hours. Of course, I didn't have 150 credit hours when I started sitting for my CPA, so I signed up to take it under the Delaware State Board. So it's a unified exam. So no matter where you take the exam, it's the same exam. But depending on the board that you sign up for, you could start taking it earlier. However, sitting for the exam is one thing. Getting licensed is a different process. You need to have those 150 credit hours and all of that. So for someone starting out, I'll say, just start taking your accounting classes, get your bachelor's. If you have to go for your master's in order to make up for the 150 credit hours, you go for it. And then make sure to get really good study material, because there's a lot of cheap material out there, which is okay if you put in the work. But I feel like there's something about using something that is sharper to cut wood versus using something that is blunt. Even the Bible talks about that. So you want to get material that it's a worthy investment, right? You invest in the right material, you put in the time to study, and that's it. And I'll tell everyone, it's not necessarily, I don't think it's the best field. I think there are so many options. You just have to really know that this is what you want to do. Because if you think of it, or if you want to do it just because you see somebody else doing it but you don't really have the passion for it, you're going to get frustrated at some point, because the challenges will come, but the passion is the only thing that will keep you going.
So, I mean, are you trying to tell me that you are not in this thing for the money? It's just for the passion and because it's some interesting thing. I mean, come on, tell me something about the money part.
I love that question. I so love that question. uh okay, here's the thing, Lambert. Between me and you, the fact that we paid school fees, we need to get compensated for whatever we do or become, right? But I also believe that it has to mean more to you than just a pay check or the money that comes with it, because they're very unhappy rich or wealthy people in fields that doesn't make them happy. It's like a true artist being a medical doctor. They might make all the money, but they'll always aspire or always want to create. even if it's not bringing them money, because it fulfills purpose in them. So will I tell somebody that do this, for no pay? No, not at all, right? But I can tell you one thing, Lambert. When you have the passion for it and you have the desire to help people, you will make money. It's almost impossible not to make money, because when you have the passion for it, what it does is that it helps you to be able to develop your talents and your skill sets. Oh, I'm just sounding like one of my friends I was listening to yesterday. This my friend said something, and I don't, please just bear with me. I'm going to share this because he said something I watched yesterday, and I said it applies to every field. So he talked about anything you do, you need to bring in your passion. His name is John Etal. He said, then, craft your work. Make sure you become really good at what you're doing. And then what's the other thing? I've forgotten the other ones. I'm going to remember. But here's the thing: when you have passion, you're willing to develop yourself. When you develop yourself, that's you adding value to what you bring to the table. When you become valuable and you have the heart to help people, people can see through that. There's nothing like knowing what you're doing and bringing the best of yourself to the table and letting people know that I'm here first to make sure that you succeed. Because when you succeed, I succeed. So when people see that, people do not mind paying for it. So of course, if you come with the heart and you don't have the skill sets, they'll like you, but they will not pay for it because you don't know what you're doing. And then you come with the skill sets and you don't have the heart, well, they would put up with you for a little bit, but your arrogance is going to get in the way. And so, it's a combination of all these elements that you have to bring to the table. So yes, have the passion for it. Make sure that you really love what you're doing. Develop yourself. Master your craft, right? Set out first to serve, and then money will come. It will chase you down the street even. You'll run from money, will come. I'm not saying that it's chasing me like that yet, but it's coming. It's like somewhere it's getting ready to chase me.
I think you just told that away from me, because I was getting ready to say that it seems as if I have to pack my things and come down to Houston, because
I have to correct myself because now people start sending me emails. That money that is chasing you, send our own.
yeah, but I love what you just said there, because it's important even for self development, isn't it?
Yes.
That people understand, um, you need that purpose to drive whatever you are doing, because with that purpose you are able to overcome those challenges.
Yes.
And when you become an expert, it's not enough just to be an expert. I love the way you put it, isn't it? You need to bring in both the
Yes.
service part,
Absolutely.
because an expert who serves, then the
Yes.
money comes. And even if you're an expert and that service part is not there,
Yes.
people are going to, stay in for a short while and they look for the next expert. And so
Oh, yeah.
what brings that distinction is very important. And I'm sure that is why it's a good way to move on to the next thing, which is the main thing. Tell us the journey. Why did you decide to open up a CPA firm? Why didn't you just start with one of these big CPA firms or work with your friend Alice Tomdio? I hope I
Yes.
got the name correct.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're actually partnering on. Okay. Yeah. My friend who helped me start. Who helped me pursue accounting. Yes. 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 This is so funny. You know what, Lambert? To be honest, this path chose me. I was not at any point in time really thinking of starting a CPA firm. I've done things here and there. I've started businesses to do taxes, accounting services, different things. But there was a part of me that was okay doing it on the side and still being able to work, from big organizations and work with big data. I love analysis. I love analyzing a ton of data. So I enjoyed working for major organizations where I could look at data for the whole US and looking at something and helping them make decisions, based on my analysis and my conclusions. But you know how when God is ready to lead you down a path, one of the things he does, he strips you of everything. So I was stripped of everything. It was to a point where I would have all the opportunities in my face, and the moment I'm trying to get through, oh sorry Lily, we put this on hold. Like it was like every door just kept getting shut, and that was God leading me towards this path. Because it's like sometimes a lot of us have these skill sets and we're sitting on them. I've always had a heart for people. That is not a secret, right? I have the skill sets. I've gone to school. I have all the certifications. I have the knowledge of it. But, I wasn't really thinking starting my own firm, doing all that work, because I'm thinking that's a lot of work. Who wants to deal with that? Deal with clients, talking to clients. Like, I'm a fun person. I love to party. I love a good time. But business is just a different world. And so, with every door being shut so bad, this was like the only option at that time. But I didn't realize that it was an assignment that was coming to me, because my entire business is an assignment. This was God telling me, I need you to do more for me. I need you to get out there and help my children. I've given them, visions and passions that, and their purpose that is tied in nonprofits and businesses. I need you to get out there and help them. Instead of you sitting here thinking, I want to be a part of this company or that company. And so I ended up starting the Ark. And of course, the last 2 years was, a journey of learning, a journey of making mistakes, a journey of, starting all over, falling, rising up, doing my best to serve clients at the least amount of pay or no pay, even, because I needed to really understand, what I was doing, create processes that worked and things like that. So it took a while for me to really learn and get to a comfortable place like I am now. And I've built, pretty well. Thank God. I'm still building, I'm still learning. But to tell you that I woke up one day and I was like, I'm going to be the founder of the Ark, that's a lie. It was never really like that. It was more like, when it was time, God shut every door and just ushered me into this and said, you're going to start and you're going to learn, you're going to do whatever it takes to get out there and be of service to my children. And that's how it really happened.
So again, that's a very brilliant way, that foundation, isn't it? At times we throw in some of these words about disappointments becoming blessing, and we don't really sit back to think. And you see how you turn some of these things into opportunities, isn't it? The crisis has become, instead of you wailing and weeping and blaming every other person, you now
Yes.
sit back and say, "Hey, I love the way you put it, isn't it?
Thank you.
This opportunity was tossed upon me, and I'm looking like, hey, what is the opportunity? Is it that somebody created a company and gave you? But no, you now sat back because you saw how things were going, and then said, okay, what is the way out of this? I can't just be whining and complaining, isn't it? But really, it's not. I mean, it's difficult to see how you want to relate everything back to God, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
I'm trying to, I'm really trying to stay away from it for some obvious reasons. But for 1 second, if God did not come into this picture, how would this look like?
You know what, Lambert? I would never know. I'll tell you the truth, because he allows us to go through everything, to give us the opportunity for us to encounter him. So yeah, there are times when we would miss those opportunities, but God is so intentional. And he said to all of us that before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, and I called you to be a prophet, which means we were an assignment before we were a purpose or an assignment before we even came to existence. And so when God's assignment or purpose is on the line, God will do whatever it takes to make sure that it is fulfilled. So there will come a time where he puts you through all these things because he wants you to encounter him. Because it's until you do that you realize what it is that he truly created you for, right? It's like a TV. A lot of us have TVs, but many of us don't even go through, the manual. And the manual is the way to get into the producer's head. And so when you start to encounter God, he starts to tell you exactly what what he wants you to do. Because most of us can only turn on our TV, watch different channels, whatever. But maybe my TV can even connect to the internet. Maybe my TV can do a lot more, but I would never know. And it's the same with God. He created us and he's given us all these different assignments and purpose. And until you really go and encounter him, you will not even know half of the things that he wants you to do, right? You just think you have to be here, exist, have a good time, be happy. Everybody just wants to be happy, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. But I think he put me through everything that I needed to go through to get to a point with him where I could get clarity in knowing that, wow, I'm his. I'm here for a reason. There's so much more that has to happen because I'm here. I just didn't walk in here to walk around or to just live and exist. But, there's an entire generation that is dependent on me being successful so that they themselves can be successful, so that they themselves can thrust forward, and it's all tied to that purpose that God has for my life, had for my life, and has for my life. And so him coming into the picture now was where clarity came through, right? And he doesn't show you everything. He gives bit by bit at a time. He only shows you a little bit at a time, because if he shows you everything, you get overwhelmed, right?
Correct.
He gives you little bit, little bit at a time. Yeah.
Right. So again, I'm sure we can talk about this God people, God part of the story. It's in fact the entire story, isn't it? That is the entire story. But even then, I mean, let's continue that conversation and just go out to the name, isn't it? I'm like,
Yeah.
I was trying. I'm looking at my show, and I decided to call my show the Lambom Show, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, why is this not the Mbinglo CPA something? Isn't
All
it?
right.
I'm not
See the
sure.
arc.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure Pam Binglo will be happy to know that the daughter created a company and did not name it the
Did not even
Binglo.
bring his name into the matter.
Yeah, and why my brother and friend, I'm not sure he's also happy. And Peter and Paul, Vera, they're wondering, our sister has a big firm. What is going on? So
Yes.
that's just to say, why did you name your company the Ark?
So I love this question because all right, let's go. Here's the thing. First of all, and I have to put it out there so no one thinks I'm crazy, because a lot of times, when people haven't gotten to a certain place in their relationship with God and you say certain things, it's, it causes them to question you and think you're. But when you grow, and there's something Jesus said in the Bible. He said, my sheep know my voice, right? When you grow to a certain place with him, you can hear him and you know when he talks to you. And so the arc was not even something I ever thought about. When it started becoming clear that I needed to create a company, I went into prayers and I'm like, God, what am I even going to call this? And I remember so clearly, and I write. And so I have everything written down from the day this encounter happened. And he sent me into the word and he said I should read the Ark of the Covenant. So I opened my Bible and I'm reading the Ark of the Covenant. He said, what do you see? And the first thing I said is, God's purpose for mankind was preserved, right? Because he didn't ravage all of mankind. He had to preserve Noah so mankind could be saved. And that was first his purpose for mankind. We had to be here if we were even going to be co-creators or have an assignment or anything. He said, what else do you see? And I started talking about the structure, because you can see even the fact that the animals could get in there for 40 days and 40 nights, or how long they were in there, reported there had to be a certain structure for that to happen. Noah was also very accountable. If you look at everything, it was going one male, one female, right? So he, there is something about being that structured and being that accountable, and then also being that consistent to make sure that every single one goes in smoothly. And then what was even so beautiful about the end of it was when he said the animals came to Noah, which means it wasn't even Noah calling them; they all came in. So there's something very significant about that, right? It already shows that not only was God's purpose being fulfilled, not only was Noah helping with this structure, but God was bringing in everyone that needed to be in there, or every animal that needed to be in there. So I'm writing down these things. And he said, that's what I want you to go do for the purposes and the visions that I've given to my children. I want you to give them the structure that they need. I want you to help them get the kind of accountability that would help them be able to grow and sustain what it is that I have entrusted in their hands. And another last thing he said is that you will not go looking. I will send everybody that you would work with. Sounds weird. Lambert, story of my life. Almost everybody that I have worked with, it's a testament to it. They have all been sent to me, whether they knew it or they didn't know it, whether they were Christians or they were not Christians. They had to be there and work with me. So I never even have to chase any client, because those that have to work with me, it's never a struggle. They come and it's an easy relationship. And so that was how the Ark's name came. At that time, I had my limited view, and I was like, he said the Ark. I was supposed to just put the Ark, whatever name I was supposed to put. But I was like, well, I want to focus on nonprofits. Not because I wasn't going to work with businesses, but because I felt like nonprofits needed to know that there was a CPA firm that had their backs. And that was how I ended up calling it the Ark Nonprofit Solutions. So, but every time we would put the name out there, people got confused because they thought we were a nonprofit organization. But no, right? We're a CPA firm that works with nonprofits and businesses, but we want to always make nonprofits know that we're that safe place for them. That caused so much confusion, and that's why you see we put the Ark NPS. So if you have suggestions on what NPS could stand for, let me know. We're not getting rid of it, but we can always switch it up. But that was how the name came about. it's, my business is really an assignment for me. I'll tell you, Lambert, it's not a money thing. Like, the money part has to come, because if you meet any person that has worked with me, the first thing that they know and they'll tell you is that my heart for them is so true, because I truly want them to succeed. I truly want them to do all that it is that they created their business to do. I want them to go in, not only build but sustain, expand it, grow it. And so for that to happen, my expertise comes in. And when that happens, they don't even cry paying me. They will pay. I mean, they do pay, and they do so happily, because they know I have their heart. I have their business at heart, and their success really matters to me. Yeah.
Yes, well, I really want to congratulate you on that. It's a word I've used this past week a lot. That intentionality, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Very very often, and which is we'll come to this shortly. Very often, people rush into business because they just find an opportunity. Somebody told them there's something here. Go,
Yes.
and you say, "What name do you want?" Um, Anything comes, and then they run with it, and it's okay, good enough. But this was quite intentional.
It
You
was.
were on a journey, you are
Yes,
on a journey,
I am.
and in everything. And again, it's so apropos, isn't it? Just think
Yes.
about it. When you started the show, you said you are a water girl, isn't it? Then
Yes.
you decided to name your firm the Ark, isn't it? And remember, you just mentioned the Ark again in relation to
It's so
Noah.
cool that you said
Really,
that.
yeah, yeah. You see, so again, everything, the pieces of the mosaic are
Yes.
like coming together and
Yes.
building
Yes.
this beautiful thing. And
Yes.
again, because you mentioned it, let's focus on that a little bit.
Yes.
These non-profits, what was the problem? Let me not put it as a problem. What was it about non-profits that made them so attractable to you that you really wanted just to focus on them?
Okay. So, remember I said, my assignment when it started was to, help the purpose and the visions of God's children, everyone, right, that God allows me to work with. So when I started, I had a very limited view of it. I thought, you know what, everyone that really has a purpose fulfills this in a nonprofit, right? And I want people to hear this, because sometimes you will be wrong. Sometimes you will make mistakes at the beginning of your business, and it's okay. It's all the learning. But when I started, God started to teach me, and He said, no, even in business, there are people who have to fulfill their purpose too, but in business. And through that, they can even create opportunities. They can have, people be employed and make money to take care of their families. And so it's not just limited to nonprofit. But I'll come back to nonprofits. The reason why I was so passionate about nonprofits is because most of the people that go into, that start a nonprofit, they just have a heart to give. They have a heart to serve. They have a heart to impact. And a lot of times, they don't have the financial support that they need. That's the first thing. Second of all, the nonprofit world is so complex, it's so complicated. And many of them, because they are so service driven, all they want to focus on is doing the work. But there's a big part to it, the paperwork, the tax complexities, and tax compliance and all of that they don't know. And so a lot of them end up even losing their exempt status for not filing taxes for 3 years, or just different things that happen. And so I wanted to come in and bridge that gap for them, where I want them to focus on doing the work, and let me handle the paperwork for them. If there was something they needed to understand, let me explain it to them. Let me know why we have to do certain things the way the IRS requires us to do it, so that they can apply it. And so that was, the whole premise of nonprofits. It was helping these people that have a heart, to give them the tools that they need, so they can focus on what they're doing without having the headache, trying to worry about what it is that has to be done here and there, while I do that for them. Another thing with nonprofits is that a lot of them never really understand the funding aspect, right? The money side of nonprofits. And a nonprofit does not mean no profit, right? A nonprofit doesn't even mean that you cannot really, do different things to generate income for you. So those are the things that I wanted to teach them: ways of raising funds, ways of, bringing in additional income. And it's not even about raising funds; it's about preparing yourself to attract funding. I want to help them build themselves and give them that structure where they don't have to go looking for money. Money will come looking for them. Kind of what we said about money chasing you. So that was really why nonprofits were so dear to my heart. So when I started with nonprofits, there were a ton of business people needing me too. And I'm like, oh snap, the business part is almost natural for us, because when you're taking your CPA, you're doing, everything is business focused. And so now this is me saying, hey, I can still help people who have a passion and a heart to serve, but people are also doing that in businesses. They're still serving in their businesses. Their structure may be different, but they need, the structure, they need the accountability, they need all of these different things so that I can offer them. They need their taxes to be done. A lot of them don't have any, accounting records. They need someone who can come and do that kind of cleanup for them so that they can be able to report their revenues and expenses accurately and take advantage of opportunities and grow. And so I was like, okay, I think it's time we embrace this. It's what I've been called to do, and I accept this assignment to its entire fruition. And I went for both businesses, nonprofits, and I've been serving all of them, and individuals and churches as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, congratulations, I keep saying, because that's a great vision, a great mission that is already progressing. One of the things that, I mean, without sounding racist, is I'm concerned about your clientele, whether you have any Africans coming to you. Do you mostly have, because I think, I mean, let me rephrase it, let me put it in a different way, that we all want shortcuts. I don't want to come to Lily to come and spend some money just to register something for me when I could just. So, what has that experience been with the African community?
Oh my God. You know what? I love that you asked that question. I think I'm always very careful when I limit certain issues to a group of people, because I realize it's a human problem. It's human beings in general, they like shortcuts. Now, in our situation, familiarity plays a role, right? Because we think, because we know this person, it should be a certain way. But what differentiates me, it's how I go about what I do. So I'm not a transaction person, and I tell everybody that comes around me, I don't do transactions. You can't come to me and say, oh, I just want to start a nonprofit. No, I just can't do that, because if you don't even understand what you're starting, and I do that, I have my hands on that. I always have to make sure that you understand what we're doing. I'm building a relationship with you that is not just there for you to start, but I want to help you succeed for 1 year and beyond. And so, a lot of times people will come to me. One of the things I always hear most people say is, what's your price? I say, well, I can't just give you a price. I need to know your needs, because sometimes you might think you just need one thing, but your problem is bigger. And so if I don't understand what it is that you need and I give you a price, I'm cutting you short. Now, will I say that there are certain Africans that will have an issue with paying me a certain amount? Of course, right? They'll have an issue with paying some other people the same amount, but I don't even look at that, because the ones that understand the value that I bring to the table, they don't question. I have African clients too. I have Cameroonian clients as well. I've done a lot of work for them, and I'm still doing as well. And these are people that, once they get to talk to me and they see what it is that I'm bringing to the table, it's not even up for argument. It's okay, Lily, let's get it done. Let's get to work. So it goes back to the value that I bring to the table. It doesn't matter if someone is African, if someone is, Asian, wherever you come from. When a person really knows what good stuff is and they make good stuff, they pay for it. Period.
Um, I think the problem is not just that people do not appreciate good stuff. It's just that maybe they really appreciate the good stuff, but they lack the means to be able to afford for the good stuff, isn't
I
it?
need to address that. I need to
Yeah.
address that because I love that you said that, right? Like in our firm, we have package deals for everybody. So we don't, there's no way you can come to us and we tell you have to pay us this amount upfront. We do payment plans. I mean, I've had clients that were like, what, I can only do 100 for each paycheck. And I'm fine with that. Because remember, I told you, Lambert, I'm trying to help you. I'm not saying anybody should come and bring that deal. But I understand the client's situation, right? And if I know that this person really needs my help, of course, I would focus on solving your issue first before I even make it a thing of money. You understand? Because like I told you, money will always come. It's not a big deal for me. And you see what you said about sometimes people admire, like appreciate good things, but the payment is the problem. That person would still commit to it, even if it takes them a long time to pay. they will still commit. They'll say, hey, you know what, Lily, let's work out something. And they're happy to do it. And I'll tell you, with all the people I'm working with, and not just Africans, people from different races that come to me, and they don't have all their money up front, but we have a payment plan. And they're happy to make the payments because they know the value, that they're getting out of this.
Yeah, I mean, if you value something, you have to work hard to pay for it, isn't it? Even if it's piecemeal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, before we move away, I love the t-shirt you have on. It seems to have something you relate exactly. So
Yes.
tell me about that design because I see the R putting
Yes.
people first.
Yes. Okay. And this is our theme for this season that we're going into. I mean, it's always been about people, of course, but we're really putting this theme out there to remind people that they matter to us more than anything. It's because of them that we're here, and it's because of them that we'll continue to be here. And so we're honored that they're giving us the opportunity to be of service, and so we're taking it in, with all pride and all humility. Is that right? Can I say pride and humility in the same station?
Yeah,
It sounds odd,
yeah,
but we are happy to be of service, and that's why I'm reminding people that we truly put them first.
yeah. Well, pride and humility is an oxymoron, and that's it's okay. But again, it's kind of peculiar. I don't know whether there's some intentionality behind it because you have after the word there's something like a period, and then your A kind of looks I don't know what kind of
Oh
A
yeah,
is that.
so that's our logo. I mean,
Okay,
I'm sure you've seen our logo. This is
yeah,
our
sure.
logo. I have extra blemish on it because I can be careless sometimes, but this is our logo. The art. That's how our logo is with the two. What's weird about this is I never even when I requested for the logo to be made, I didn't even explain anything to this guy when he put it. You know what this means? This is like a division sign, right?
Yes.
That tells you what we do. We help you. We separate the good and bring you to, and the bad. So, whatever has been happening that is bad, the act is coming to divide it and bring you to some good stuff, right?
And again, you see the intentionality behind it, isn't it?
Yes,
Even the image of the ark, they
yes.
became in pairs, isn't it? The
Yes,
name.
they did.
So
Yes, they
there we
did.
go. Now let's get into some real. I mean, that is what we're supposed to be talking about. We've been going around. So now the ark. How long has the ark been in business?
Since 2018. Since
2018.
2018, yes.
So in 2 years, the ark is now moving out of state. And I'm wondering, I know you already touched on this because
Uh-huh.
it's your, let me say that is, it looks like home for you, Houston, isn't it? Now you're opening up a second office.
Yes.
So that says you're going places.
Oh,
I mean,
yes. Yes.
DC area has a very large African population. I'm wondering why you had to go 22 hours away to
And
Houston.
wait, I'm so glad you touched on that. Like I said, Houston has always been like home to me. I was there for 7 years before I moved 2 years ago because of my doctoral program at Regent University. So it was only fair that I go back to that place where I still have that level of connection with. I did my MBA in Houston, so I have a lot of friends and classmates that are doing amazing things. And there's nothing like coming to a place where you have people you can leverage on, which is amazing, right? Remember, I was talking about something my friend talked about, where he talked about like points of things you can do. He talked about your passion. He talked about your craft. One of the things he talked about was a mastermind, about being around people that are doing things, right? Not that people are not doing things in Virginia, but these are people I went to school with that did their MBAs, and I've been connecting with them, and we challenge each other in a good way. I feel like I still have those ties here in Houston that I'm so excited to come and leverage on and bring them even on my team to help with some of the things that I do. So that's why Houston was second. But I want to really be careful with this because to me, and I'll be honest, and I want to say this in all humility, like the launch of Houston office is like history to me. The reason why you see us celebrating this is because of its significance. Okay, so the actual event for me, I already passed it. But the significance is because, we are literally expanding into a ton of cities, Lambert. I mean, I'm not even ready to talk about them right now. But when I say work is happening in the background, I tell people like things are happening. This Houston just signifies that explosion that is getting ready to happen. So yes, if I went 22 hours away, that tells you that we're ready to go 22 hours flight away. or more. And so Houston is just me saying, hey, we're ready. We're ready to take on the world. So would there be a DC office at some point? Of course. Is it right now? No, but yeah, we'll be everywhere. People have to get ready for this, Lambert. We're ready. I am ready, especially, and my team is ready.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Lambom Show, and with me on set today is Lilly Mbinglo, CEO the Ark NPS CPA firm,
Yes.
and we're talking about the launch that is due on Wednesday, September 9th, of a second office in Houston. Now, so you run down a couple of things, a couple of services, because people are wondering, the Ark, I mean, what services do you provide? We already talked about the non-profit thing. So I don't
And
want to form a non-profit. This thing is not for me, isn't it? What
no,
services
far
do
from
you
it. Far from
provide?
it, right? So we work with nonprofits, we work with businesses, and we work with individuals. So of course, if you don't have anything, to do with nonprofit, that doesn't make you someone that we cannot talk with, right? If you're an individual who needs taxes done, we do taxes, and we are like one of the best when it comes to taxes, and our prices are amazing too. And not only do we do your taxes, but we're always ready and happy to offer you advice for the next year. Then for businesses, we do startups for businesses. We provide accounting and bookkeeping services. We provide payroll as well. We do a lot of consulting, and we do their taxes as well, and we do tax advising. That's like the biggest thing for me, because every business person needs to know what the tax laws are, and they need to know what it is that they could take advantage of. And so we're able to empower them with all this knowledge that helps them going forward with their business. So that's something that we do. And we work with churches, individuals that want to invest in other businesses. We have people that come to us and just want to help us, go over their portfolios or different businesses they could invest in. So yeah, there's something for everyone that wants to come to Ark. And then, like you said, for nonprofits, if let's say you're not starting a nonprofit, but you already have one, what if your board members have never been trained? We can do that for you. Don't you need more money? Yes, we can help you structure yourself so you can attract more funding. We can help you understand your finances too. We can prepare budgets for you, and things like that. So yeah, there is something for everyone that can help them get a mastery of their accounting, that can help them understand what it is that they have to do to make sure that they're in compliance, they're getting enough funding, they're taking advantage of opportunities, they are growing, and they are thriving.
So something that I really normally don't do, because we are just having a conversation, but I'm about to ask you. I mean, Houston is a big city, isn't it?
It
There,
is.
I'm sure there are big accounting firms in there. Just give me three reasons why some other person should come and sign up with the Ark NPS.
Oh, I love that. I love that question, because you must have your differentiators, right? And the first thing for us, which if you have been listening, the recurring theme here is that heart of service. So if you're looking for a place where you really matter, where you're not just another client, but we know you, we know your business, we know you personally, and what you do really matters, then you have to come to us. The second thing is that we work with clients based on their budget and based on where they are. I think that is key. Most accounting firms have a flat rate, but for us, we work with you based on where you are, because there are people that might need a certain service, but they're just starting their businesses. I'm not going to expect you to take out, $500 and pay me. So I will work with you based on where you are. I will work with your budget. We are able to do that because we know that when we help you grow, it will not be a struggle for you to pay us as you grow. And so we are really, making sure that nobody fails to get good service simply because they cannot afford it. Right? I didn't say free, but I'm saying we'll work with you. We'll work with you to make sure that, because even if you get something free, you probably not value it. But at the same time, we would work with you to make sure that, you know what you're getting. You can pay for where you are, and then as you grow, we grow with you. And then the last thing, and I think, which is one of the biggest things, is not just providing service, but taking the time to put strategies together for you for your growth. Nothing beats that. A lot of times people will get bookkeeping, people will get taxes done. For us, once that is over, we start to put a structure together for you. We start to put a plan for you. We have strategies in place. Most of my clients meet with me once a quarter. some even meet with me every month. And the whole idea of this is putting strategies in place, looking at new opportunities of how they can grow and how they can expand and all of that. Most people will not tell you that. Most accounting firms will not spend time to give you all of that. They don't have the time for that. They want to do the work, get paid, and move on. But for us, we believe that we're not just here to provide a service. We have to ensure that you grow. And so we're there to provide those strategies. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and we're planning to write a book. I don't want to say the title, but it's a very interesting book. And the whole thing about the book is just people who have been getting really bad advice from their accountants and CPAs, or no advice at all. And they're paying them all this money every month. And so coming to us, you're not just paying us for our service, but you're getting good advice, man. You're getting strategies to make you succeed. Nothing beats that, Lambert.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Lambo Show, and with me on set, we have the CEO of the Ark NPS, Miss Lilly Mbinglo. So, Lilly, again, I like all this big stuff, isn't it? Focus on one thing, because I think most of us, I can speak for myself. Financial planning is something that many people don't spend time, taking care of that. Somebody calls you up and says there's this deal, there's this program that has come up, you need to sign up for it. Is something that, and all of a sudden you find yourself doling out $100 for something that was not planned, isn't it? And I think that there's a certain discipline that one needs with finances, that you need help with firms like yours. And I'm sure part of the service that you bring to the community, not just at that macro level, is even just sitting with somebody one-on-one and saying, hey, you made X amount of money this year. I will maybe not get into how you spent it, but I would like to advise you on what to do next year in order to get more money. Did I get that correct?
Oh my God, you're so on point with that. So we do offer financial coaching for individuals. And yeah, we have a couple of clients right now, and it's interesting you said that, because we don't even have it on our website, but we have we have quite a bit of clients that we offer personal financial coaching to. And I want to really touch on that, because there are people that may not have the opportunity to talk, for us to talk, but might watch this. One of the things that we do when a client comes in is we have to understand what's coming in and what's going out, right? So wherever you are and you're watching this, even though we offer that service, you might not need to come to us if you really listen. You have to first of all understand what is coming in and what's going out. It's easy if you have a W-2, if you're getting paid monthly or bi-monthly, and you can say, okay, you know what, every month I'm getting $1,000 period. Now, do you know what's going out, right? Do you know what you're spending your money on? Because once you can spend time and have these two things written down, then you can set a budget for yourself. Because first of all, for you to even know where you're going, you need to know where you are. And you know what? Let me start over. First thing, you need to have your goals in order. You have to ask yourself, what is it that I want to accomplish financially, right? Because if you just want to live your life, that's fine. But if you're thinking, I want to buy a home, I want my kids to go to college paid for, I want to have a baby next year, I want to, I want to buy a new car, and I don't want to have a car note or whatever. If you choose to, it doesn't matter to me. Or you want to travel, right? All those goals are very important. So you need to start there by writing down those goals. And maybe you just need to have more savings, because when you do not have savings, opportunities will present themselves to you that you cannot take advantage of. So it starts with you asking yourself, what are my goals? What do I want to accomplish? When you have that down, then you go on now to write now what comes in and what goes out. Understand how you're spending your money. Maybe you've been, stopping and picking up lunch from stores, and you realize, whoa, in 1 week I spent almost $250 just going out for lunch with my coworkers. Now, it's good that you have that understanding, because there's a consciousness that is being created that can help you manage that. Now, when you know what is coming in and what's going out, now you can create a budget for yourself to say, okay, these are the goals that I want to accomplish. With what's coming in and what's going out, I'm almost left with nothing. What do I need to cut off, right? That's where your budget comes in. Your budget is not a something you have to stick with forever. Like, it's not like some, like what's the word, like a robot or something that you cannot deviate from. But your budget is like a roadmap. It's you saying, hey, I want to accomplish these things. Now I'm going to put a plan in place that will help me prepare myself, or save the funds, or do whatever it takes for me to be able to accomplish these things. Once you set that budget, as every month goes by, do something called a variance analysis. A variance analysis just means you look at what you actually spent, what came in, what you actually spent, and then what you had budgeted to spend. Did you stick with your budget? Did you go way over your budget? Then you start to understand what happened. Did I overdo it or not? Right? Was this something that came up that was unexpected but was important? Now you don't have to kill yourself. But if you know that, okay, you know what, I just didn't pay attention. Like you said, somebody just came with some program, I gave $100, let's go hang out, I spent $200. Were those things you could avoid? Of course, right? Does that mean you shouldn't have fun? Have fun, but you can plan all these things. Enjoy yourself, do the things that you want to do. But if you need to make the sacrifices to get to where you want to go, looking at those variance analysis should give you an idea of, okay, I'm doing well or I'm not, I can do better. And then you keep repeating that process. And before you know it, you're literally reaching your goals, you're getting things knocked off. And, and the process just keeps going on. If you have a new goal, you put it down, you understand what's happening, you look at what you could change, create a budget for that, stick with your budget. If you deviate, understand why you deviated, and you keep it going and rolling. And before you know it, things will be happening for you like, you didn't even imagine.
So if you were doubting what we were talking about, the Ark NPS as being the magic that you need, you just had it right there. Financial advice given to you for free, how to, manage your finances in a month, doing the budgeting, finding out all this variance analysis. Come on. This is something you have just had here for free without paying the consultation fee. And
Right?
I'm sure that many people should be excited. I believe I can say this confidently that every person who, if you have a paycheck, you should get a financial advisor, isn't it? Get somebody to advise you on how to manage that, or somebody just to coach you, train you on that, isn't it? And I think that for want of something else, you don't. Today we are talking about the launch that's happening on Wednesday, the 9th in Houston of the Ark NPS. But the Ark is actually based in Virginia Beach, isn't it? And you don't, because Lily is talking to us now from Houston. I'm in Washington, D.C. So technology has facilitated that. So wherever you are, okay, wherever you are, Lily, can you tell us how can people reach you in order to avail of the services you provide?
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you for that. One of the quickest ways, I'll tell you, that's the truth. Go to my website, www.arknps.com, and just schedule an appointment with me. That's one of the best ways, I'll tell you. That's one. The second thing you could do is you can shoot me an email, lily@arknps.com, which is lily at arknps.com. And then the last thing is you can call me. My business line, which happens to have been my personal line for a long time, then became my business line. It's 773-977-5556.
Just take that one more time.
773-977-5556. Yes.
Okay. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in Houston, you own a business, or you're running a not-for-profit, or you're just an individual who earns a paycheck, isn't it? You earn some money.
Yeah.
Please, I'm inviting you, check out the Ark NPS. This Wednesday, launching out in Houston.
Yes.
But if you live far away from Houston, you live anywhere in the United States, you want to contact Lily.
Yes.
I'm going to summarize all these various ways you can reach out to her and have that on so that people can. So Lily, again, just tell us, how is Wednesday going to look like?
Oh, so Lambert, I'm going to be honest, everyone watching right now, I'm the worst at planning, right? So when I get off this call, I'm supposed to be meeting my event planner. I work so hard. I work crazy. So things like planning things, I don't know. So I'm going to be finding out about the schedule myself. Like that. Anyways, on Wednesday, I'm hoping that people can tune in live on my Facebook. I'm sure we'll be able to share those moments with those who cannot come and join us physically. But one of the main things we'll be doing is just praying and blessing the office, because this is I can't start it without God, right? And so we're going to be just blessing the place and just praying over it and inviting Him to be an integral part of this entire journey, which He started. He put me on, and it's been His. And then we'll probably have, I'll probably talk, maybe teach, give you guys a few tips here and there. I have no idea, but yes, I did say I was going to dance live. So those who have never seen me dancing, you better get ready. Like, it's about to be super exciting. This is so bad that I'm saying this about my own launch, that I don't know what the schedule is going to be, but I'll be seeing my event planner at 6:30, and I'm actually running late. But I'm seeing my event planner today. She has the rundown of everything. Don't blame me. I'm working hard. I'm trying to make my clients happy. So, it's only fair that I leverage people that have the expertise in areas that I don't have, the expertise in. So we'll be sharing that information later on of what that day would look like. So that those who can join us, will be honored to have them join us. We'll have masks, we'll have sanitizers and all of those things to give out, and also for people to have when they join the party in person. And then those who can join us online can also do so virtually, and all of that information will be provided when I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what you just said, isn't it? Because the problem with I mean, generally the temptation is you want to do it all by yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then you end up ruining your own party,
Yeah.
isn't it? And I really appreciate the fact that you can see that this is an area where I'm not good at. I'm going to give this out to some other person to absolutely, and I applaud you for that. We
Yes.
want to learn that. Okay, I know you have something. So again, at the beginning of the show, you mentioned some perks that are available for people who sign up on that day. What are some of these things that people who want
Oh,
to sign up?
yeah. So the first 10 businesses that sign up for bookkeeping will get 2 months free. That's a great deal. And our bookkeeping, guys, you need to know, like, we just don't do your monthly bookkeeping and reporting for you. We prepare your budgets too. I mean, can you imagine being a business where, if you're ready to take on new opportunities, or if you tell us, we're thinking of buying a building next year, we create a budget for your business, and we work with you every quarter to make sure that, you're being able to really stick with your budget. If you're not, let's understand it. Let's see how we can help you plan. And so, bookkeeping with us is a big deal. And then you get to meet with me, or, my other colleagues quarterly, to understand your numbers, to take advantage of, just all the things that are out there for you. A lot of our packages even come with taxes, depending on what you want. So you imagine you're getting your bookkeeping done by the end of, and you're getting all this consulting. Sometimes some of the packages even have IRS S corporation filings, and at the end of the year, your taxes are getting done. So there's a lot that comes with this. And you also offer you the QuickBooks account if you're a QuickBooks person, which is, discounted. So if you were to sign up with us, you're among the first 10 people, you're getting, 2 months free. That's good money you can put back into your business, put in your pocket, whatever you want. It's up to you. Then for people who have not yet done their taxes, those who got an extension, whether you're a nonprofit, you're a business, or an individual, for the first, I think, 15 people that show up, that sign up that day, you get 10 to 15% off. And I need to just confirm that. Hey, see, I'm not thinking about that all the time. I should. But you do get a significant amount of discount, and not only do you get a discount, but you also get some, strategy planning sessions with me to prepare you for the next years, and how you can take advantage of the tax laws, and all of those things that are there for you. We'll probably have some winners that will probably win a lifetime of free taxes with us. I don't yet know that. I'm not going to speak too loud because my team will finish me for saying something that has not yet been completely decided upon. We don't know if we're going to do that for nonprofits, for business, or an individual. But whoever would win, I think one of those prizes will have their taxes done for their, as long as the Ark as a company. I think, geez, Lily, see, I cannot keep my mouth shut. I'll get more details on that and I'll give to you. But yeah, we'll probably have something like that in there.
So let me again, the audience, Lizzo Mills, thank you for the brilliant responses, Lily. I like the way you don't make it look like it's a nightmare to go in for the CPA, and at the same time, you don't make it look like it's easy.
Oh,
Then,
that's
same person says, believing God is directing you regardless of the situation you find yourself in is great.
yes.
But what will you advise someone who finds themselves in such a situation but gets confused?
Ooh. Oh, I like that, because that is me sometimes, actually, a lot of times. Um, you have to just stand and be still. Every time you get to that crossroad where you're wondering what is supposed to happen, just be still. God has a way of leading us to the right path. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying God has to come and talk in your ears or tell you everything you have to do. He's given us wisdom, He's given us His word, He's given us things that we can use to thrust us forward. But there are times where we're at a crossroad and you're sitting there and you're going, I don't know what to do. First thing, just be still. As you stop and you're still, ask yourself, what's the next best thing I can do, no matter how little? Which means if you're standing right now and your entire company just caught fire, what's the next best thing I can do? The next best thing is just call your employees and say, it's going to be okay. Maybe that's it. Maybe the next best thing is calling your spouse and saying, sweetheart, we got this. Maybe the next best thing is going on your knees and giving God praises because you know He got you. But you have to be still and just get centered and ask yourself, what's the next best thing? Now you ask me, how do I know what the next best thing is? The next best thing is always founded in love. It's the only thing that you know that is not going to cause destruction, it's not going to bring hurt, it's not going to bring pain. That's when you know it's the next best thing. So either it's in love that comes to you or love that is going to impact other people, but it's always centered in love. And it could be as simple as just picking up the phone and telling somebody, I'm sorry. It could be as simple as just, that's it, or just keeping your mouth shut when you know that you could talk. So just the next best, after you become still, the next best thing. And let me tell you something, you will never make a mistake. It doesn't matter what action you decide to take, there are no mistakes. Because the worst thing that can happen is that you're going to learn. And when you learn, you get better. And then you do the next thing even better. So, be still, do the next best thing, but allow yourself the freedom to choose, knowing that no matter which way you go, there's no wrong turn.
Wow, that is amazing. There's the worst thing you could do is what? You learn, isn't it?
Yes, that's the worst thing that could happen.
That's
Yes,
the worst thing, isn't it?
yes.
Again, your sister is here. Well, Jane Shitty, little sister, you are so cute. And she says,
Aw,
perfect.
thank
Lilly
you.
Mbinglo, you are so awesome.
Thank
You
you.
are full of knowledge. I love you much. And most of all, I admire your energy and great heart. That's
Oh,
Jane Shitty. I'm sure you know her very well. That's
Grace,
my
you're the
friend.
best. I love you too much.
And this is my friend watching from Cameroon, Dr. Tanju Fidel. Serious people understand that good things come at a price.
Yes, yes.
And I also had Sylvie Agwe, Lilly Mbinglo. Quality and authenticity speak for itself. When
Yes,
you focus on your passion, people and money will come. Keep
yes.
soaring, she says.
Thank you. Thank you.
Financial education is very important. Laying the solid foundation is key to making your dreams come true.
Yes.
So,
Thank
Lily,
you guys.
again,
Thank you
let
guys.
me put up for those, if you are looking for a way, if you live in Houston, Wednesday is your day. Wednesday,
Yes.
September 9th, 2020. You
Yes.
can call Lily 773-977-5556. You
Yes.
can check out the website www.arknps.com, or you can shoot an email to lily@arknps.com. I'm
Yes.
going to leave this for a while. Lily, I mean, how do you feel?
Oh my God. So I'm so grateful. I that's exactly how I feel. I'm just in complete awe of God and just in so much gratitude. I'll not lie to you, Lambert. Like I cry all the time. Not crying because like I'm overwhelmed. I'm so overwhelmed with gratitude that the only reaction, the only emotion that helps me express it is tears, because I look at the stuff I went through, man, and it's like for God to have brought me this far. I moved to Virginia. When I say all doors were shutting down, thank God. Oh, my aunt in Virginia, she's an angel. She lives in Norfolk. I was with my aunt and my uncle for a while. Uncle Innocent, Auntie Berry, Seraphine. She's my mom, pretty much. I love her. Before even coming, she had to pray me off because I was like, Auntie, I'm going to the world right now. Bye. And so, but I would tell you, when I look back from everything that happened and having such an amazing daughter, my daughter is called Anna, she's 8, and she's just a rock star. I mean, I have a kid that looks at me and she's just like, Mommy, we got this. And, and she gives me a reason to keep going. I have such incredible friends that have been so supportive. I'm here with my girl, Yvette. You heard me talking to her, and it's just been such a strong support system around me that makes me just cry in gratitude, right? I am, every time I wake up and I want to thank God, I just start crying. I say, God, who would have thought? Who would have thought, right? With everything that happened, who would have thought that I would have, made it this far? And now I mean, I knew that there was greatness, but to have happened the way it has, where God's hand is on it, you see, like there's nothing to compare to that, Lambert. Like, yes, sometimes you can achieve success, which is great, but there's nothing like achieving the kind of success that is led by God, right? That's why I'm so unmovable, I'm so unshakable. Like, I remember just facing some foolish kind of stuff coming at me, and every time those balls are being thrown, I laugh and I'm like, God, like, just look at you getting me set up, and that's the kind of success that is just, it's unwavering. Like, when God is the one that is leading you, you're not moved by anything. You're not trying to please people, nothing like that. And so every time I think of it, Lambert, I'm in tears. I'm in tears of gratitude. I told you the other day when we were talking, and I said, Lambert, I'm so grateful that I'm coming here to have this conversation with you. I've known you from back home. We looked up to you. You're my friend's, older brother, and we've always just had so much love and respect and honor for you and for what you're doing. And here I am having this conversation with you. I do not take any of these for granted. I don't take the fact that anybody even sat and watched through you and I for granted, right? They didn't have to, but if they decided to spend their Sunday, listening to me and listening to you and seeing me laugh and make a fool of me as I do, it's something that I'm grateful for. And so my heart is truly overwhelmed with gratitude. I'll tell you, Lambert, truly overwhelmed with gratitude.
Lily, I want to take this opportunity to say you are a role model. Okay, you are a role model, and there are many people who would take what they have learned and be satisfied with that. I mean, people who will be satisfied with, hey, I started off the Ark, I'm based in the Virginia Beach, and that's good. Okay. But then you have taken this and it's blossoming, and God's grace is taking you to places, isn't it? I'm
Yes.
inviting everybody to, I use the word embark, board the Ark. I mean, if you are in that holy ground, that sacred space,
Yes.
okay, I want to say that God is inviting you. Take that leap into the ark.
Yes.
I can say this on this show because you can hold me accountable and come back to say you advised us and it has not worked. I can say
Yes.
this with a lot of confidence because I know that when you get into it, you'll be calling me to say, this was the best thing I ever heard.
Yes.
And for those who are out there struggling, thinking about what to do next, what career path to choose, what is it I want to do in life, you have an example of somebody who has done something out of the normal, isn't it? There are many CPAs around, many, many. I mean, you can count them, but there are very few of them who are Cameroonians, who a young lady, a young woman who has decided doors were shutting down. She decided that they are going to shut down all those doors, but I'm going to open them up with God's help. And
Yes.
today, she's opening up a second office in Houston. Just think about it. 22 hours away from where she lives. Okay? But that is because there's purpose, there's vision, and all that is being led by the Spirit. And
Yes.
I really want to say, keep it up.
Thank you.
There's one last thing I want to ask you to do because we have given the website, we have given the phone number, we have given the email, we have not given the address to the location itself.
Oh, true. So I don't have a lot of people on here who are in Virginia, but I could give the Virginia address, or let me just focus on the Houston address,
Just
which
give
is coming
both.
up. Both. Okay. So our Virginia address is 211 Providence Drive, Suite 3, Chesapeake, Virginia. That's like a little economic city there. Chesapeake, Virginia, and the zip code is 23325. And we're actually moving to a new office in Virginia as well. And the new office is 1545 Crossways Boulevard, Chesapeake, VA 23320. That's our new office we're moving to, but you can reach us through either offices for now. Then our office in Houston is 9900 West Park Drive, Houston, Texas.
Hold on. 9900. Yes.
West Park Drive.
Is that one?
Word. Yes, West Park Drive. Houston, Texas. 77063. Oh, Suite 3328. Oh, snap. 3283. You know what? Come to the third floor. You find us. I can't remember.
Good. So again, I already told Lily I understand why she chose the 9th of September, because September is the 9th month, the 9th day, because the address to the office is 9900 West Park Drive, Houston, Texas 77063. Please, if any one of you watching or listening to this and you show up, tell Lily you found out about her watching my show.
Thank
you.
To
give you a little discount.
Thank
Again.
You. Oh, Lambert, because of COVID though, every meeting is by appointment only because of COVID.
Okay.
We're being very careful with that. So please, every meeting is by appointment. You're better off, first of all, scheduling time online. So we talk with you and then, or call me. You can call me, you can text me. This is my business line that I provided here. Call, text, or you can call our company lines are on there. You probably talk with one of our admin staff members. They're on the website as well. You can call them, and then if it's something that you need to come in, technology has made it so easy. A lot of clients don't even want to come in at all. But if it's something that you need to come in, yes. But we're making sure that every appointment is, every a meeting is appointment only at the office. Please, because of COVID, I have to put that out there.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Again, any last word?
Oh my God. Yes. Too many. You just want one or many?
As many last words as you may want to, because I know this is not the last time you are coming on.
Okay. Too many. But the first thing I'm going to say is no matter what you do, I want you to know that God's hand is on it. There are no mistakes. God's hand is on it. He's with you. If you make a decision today that you want to pursue any dream, any vision, any business, whatever it is that is in your heart, just go with it. Just go with it. God will always guide you through the right path. And I think what has helped me a lot in my journey has been the humility of knowing that I don't know a lot. And so make it a point to always go out being a student, not a teacher. Every time I step out, I'm always wondering what I can learn from people. When I listen to people, I'm always wanting to learn. So go out as a student. And when you do that, you'll be shocked the things you will learn and the ways that it would enable you to grow. So just know that God is with you. Pursue whatever it is that He has placed in your heart. You can make no mistakes. The worst you can do is learn, and then remember to stay so humble to the process that you always stay a student. Now, there'll be times when you become the expert, but no matter what level you're on, someone is better than you. So make sure that you stay humble to this and you continue learning and growing, because the more valuable you become, the more people will be looking for you. And trust me, when that happens, you're unstoppable. So thank you guys so much for spending time with us. I'm just in awe of everything happening. I'm so grateful to all of you. I want to be of help. I want to impact you in any areas of your finances. If I do not know, I promise you I'll send you to someone who knows better than me. But I'll always try. If not me being the person who solves it, someone in my team, or send you to someone else who just knows it better than I do. So please, stay in touch if you can. I look forward to connecting with you guys. If you have questions, reach out to me. There's a shortage of Black CPAs in the US. So if there's any person watching this who is a student or an aspiring accountant, don't just stop with a bachelor's or a master's. Make sure you go for the certification. It opens too many doors you don't want to miss out on. All right. And God loves you.
Thank you very much, Lily. I want to really appreciate that you created the time out of your very busy schedule. If there's one person who knows how busy Lily is, I do.
Yes, he does.
So I really appreciate the time, and I'm looking forward to Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesday, Lily is doing launching of her second office in Houston, but as she has said, because of COVID, please, if you are in the Houston area, try to book. Go to their website. You can call. I mean, all the information is on this page. You
Yes.
can call them and they'll be able to guide you. And if you are anywhere else in the world, okay, especially in the United States,
Yes.
you can also call on that day and sign up for business
Oh
because
yes. Oh
you
yes.
know
Oh, for the launch itself. No, for the launch itself, people can come. Even if we don't have enough capacity for all, we're going to at least give you the mask and the sanitizer. So yeah, you can stop by. But I was saying, for the future, we're not doing any walk-ins right now because we don't want anybody showing up there when you just got diagnosed with COVID. No, thank you.
yeah, 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 yeah. So again, this is the first of a series.
Yes.
We are doing financial literacy. I think it's important for us. The many things that we talk about on this show, we want to keep this as a regular segment so that once the bottom line is good, people will be healthy, isn't it? So we'll
All the
continue
way.
to work on this.
All the way.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This is Lambom Show. And until then, see you next week. There's a whole lineup. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.